Hello, everybody. How is everybody? How y'all doing tonight? Well, tonight is another night that we are here in this earth. It is May 27th of 2002, and that's 5 whole months into 2022 that God has been good to us and that we're still in this earth and that we still get a chance to give God praise for what He's done for us and in our lives. So I'm looking at two different cameras, y'all. So don't worry about me. Hey, how you doing? I'm looking at two different cameras because I was going live on both of them. So so y'all see me looking two different ways. Don't worry about it. But y'all go ahead and like and share because I got a special guest on with me tonight, Anna Henry, evangelist Anna Henry, and tonight we're just gonna chat with you just for a little while. I don't know what's wrong. My eye kind of red over here, so not sure what it's doing over here, but we're gonna get through this anyway. So let me bring her. What's up, gal?
Hey. Good morning.
I want you to know it's evening.
Yeah, see, I work overnight, so my schedule is all over the place. My morning is night, and my night is morning.
Good evening, Prophetess
Good evening,
Kiana.
everybody. Good evening.
So tonight we just gonna dive in. Thank y'all for coming on tonight. Thank y'all for being with us for another night of Friday Straight Transparency, where we keep it real, we keep it raw. We put some Jesus on it because that's what we need today and forevermore. And we make sure we keep it transparent. And if y'all see me playing with my eye, y'all just say stop because this one is red for some strange. I don't know what's going on with it. Y'all see that? But it'll heal. In Jesus' name, it heal. So tonight our topic was lifeguards on duty. And I know y'all can follow me when we say lifeguards on duty, right? Anna said that the other morning and she blew my mind away because I'm always looking for topics as well. Hey, Sister Jackie. But I always love to ask questions on topics as well and have us keep it very as transparent as we can be. Not that it go what we say when it comes to scripture goes over people's head, but we love the discussion. We would love everybody to grab a hope to the discussion. So we y'all let me bring y'all into it, and then we gonna we gonna ask Anna why she feel like we call to be lifeguards. What was so significant about lifeguards to her? So the vision of it is y'all at the beach swimming, and you get into that water, and the current started getting kind of rough before you could bring it all the way back in. So you signal for help. And now sometimes people don't get a chance to signal for help. And sometimes people don't signal for help. So I want y'all to hold that thought now. Either you're going to signal for help, you're not going to signal for help, or you can't signal for help. All right? So you out there in the trenches of the water, the deepness of the water, and you're trying to come back in. Well, when you signal for help, who's sitting on post waiting to come save you? Lifeguard, right? Lifeguard is going to do all that they can. First of all, they've been trained to know how to save.
Yes.
People. They've been trained. They sat through some extensive training. They understood the water. They understood the atmosphere that they was going into. They even have to understand the tides, the rips, and the currents to know when and when they can't save you or when they need to call in extra help. We heard about lifeguards, y'all.
Lifeguard.
So once that lifeguard gets to that water, they immediately dive under. And if anybody know anything about currents, you can't swim in the current against the current. You got to go with it, just flow, because you'll get tired trying to swim against it. So the lifeguard comes out there because they trained, they know how to get to you. And they could pull you back in. They throw this little tube out to you, tell you to hold on to it, this little floater, and they pull you back in. Especially if you ain't going too far out. Now, if you're too far out there, sometimes when the lifeguard get in there, if it's too heavy for the lifeguard, then what happens? The lifeguard has to signal for help to come in, because now they gonna need to be saved too if they come out there too far, and it's too rough. So lifeguards are on post. That's one thing you got to learn about what a lifeguard is. They gotta stay on post. They gotta stay alert. They gotta know what's going on. They gotta see everything. They gotta be able to tell people there's danger in the water. They gotta be able to tell people when to come out the water. They gotta be able to warn people and sing that bell when a current is coming in. Because if not, they're not doing what they're supposed to do by way of the people or their position. That means you are neglecting your position. Therefore, you are neglecting the responsibility of saving people's lives when it comes time to do that.
Jesus.
So I wanted to bring y'all into that. Now that's powerful, y'all. That's powerful. So I'm gonna turn it over because y'all know I could talk, right? But I also know my girl could talk and it's full of wisdom. So Anna, tell the people, because they already know who you is. Tell the people why lifeguard popped up in your head that day.
I think about when I think about, like, I thought about, this came to me probably about last year, in the midst of this COVID crisis and in the midst of, you know, people leaving this life and moving on to the next without being saved. And, you know, regardless of COVID, regardless of what condition you leave this life in, you have an option to be saved. And so when I think about the position of being a lifeguard, we're going into the summertime, and a lifeguard's job is so hard. It's so hard because when you're out there in that water has a height and it has a depth and it has a width. And so with that, you're going out there with an expectation to help someone. And with those 3 different battles that you're going out there in, the chances of you saving them is like, it's a big fight. And so I use that term lifeguard for souls. It's just like that, whether you are, it's just as if you are going out there in the ocean of life with every battle that these people that we face as being human. Those obstacles are the same waves and the same obstacles of water and those 3 levels that we have to fight on a day-to-day in the spirit as well. And so, because like, for instance, when you think about the different obstacles that you face day to day, that's how big the ocean of life can be. It can suck you under. It can literally, like, I had just we was just on the phone laughing and joking the other day, and within a certain time frame, darkness tried to overwhelm me. We was just on the phone laughing and joking and enjoying the company of good people and, you know, good spirited people. And before you know it, that darkness came in and hit me so hard. And I was just like, okay, something is wrong. And, you know, you need that lifeguard support to be able to keep you from falling into that deep, dark water of depression, that deep, dark water of, you know, any kind of emotional delay that might cause you to feel sad or, you know, overwhelmed, or that word anxiety that's going around, you know. And so you definitely need, see, a lot of people talk about the motivational speakers and, you know, how people, you know, are not so connected to the Bible. We talked about something the other day, how even our pain has a purpose. And so even in the midst of our position, our pain still has a purpose, because, for instance, with the position of a lifeguard, you won't have no story to tell nobody if you hadn't experienced it yourself.
Right.
And so being a lifeguard, you, like you said, you've been trained in this position. You went through this experience of going out there in the water and pulling people in to help them to, not be able to lose their life in this world of pain. Mm-hmm. That's how big the ocean is. It's just as big and far and wide as the ocean. Pain is just as deep. Mm-hmm. And they call it, I have an issue, like we're closing out Mental Health Awareness Month this month. We have probably about 2 or 3 days left, give or take. And with that, I have such a conflict with the issue of knowing how this world is trying to control people's emotional intellect. So when people tell me, no, I'm suffering with bipolarism, and I'm just like, so you're not supposed to emotionally be able to express yourself a certain kind of way? And if you express yourself because you feel certain kind of way about this situation, but then you trying to, overcome this situation at the same time. So you're considered bipolar because you can't relate or, give a full yay or nay towards it, And so I have an issue and a conflict with that. And when it comes to depression, it's like people say you're not supposed. Now, it's a difference when you are when you're sad and it gets to the point where it's uncontrollable, and you can't overcome because you just in deep thought about it. That's why, back to saying, you need a lifeguard. See, in Ephesians it says put on the whole armor so that you can be able to withstand in these last and evil days. And it says that because in these last and evil days, these are the things that we're going to face. And a lifeguard has to be prepared for battle. On every end, a lifeguard has to be prepared, because these are the things that not everybody is prepared for. Now, your job as a lifeguard is to wheel them in, train them up, because the Father said we're supposed to be training people how to be disciples. We're not just discipling ourselves, we're discipling others too, our children, our family members. And not everybody's going to receive it, but those who do, the Father knows how to deal with them. So being a lifeguard of faith is to help people to transition out that old spirit, that old man, into the new man, so that they can be able to withstand in these last and evil days. But definitely, being a lifeguard of faith, it takes you to believe. It takes you to believe enough that you can be able to jump into that water and pull your brother or your sister out of that depth that they in. Because a lot of people get out there and, oh, glory. A lot of people, even it's sad to say, but some of these pastors can't even do the right thing for their members. They preach about it, but I'm gonna be honest with you, their full concept, their faith is limited. I've seen it, I've experienced it, and watching certain things, how we try to exercise people's faith. We can't do that. We have to teach people how to be faithful. Teach them how to love again. Teach them how to live in the faith so that they don't have to feel like they isolated. Because sometimes, even being a lifeguard, people, what they say? They done did it. They say, when you're a lifeguard, you have to be careful because the people who can't swim will fight against you.
That's why you got to be trained.
You got to be. You can't just go out there you can't go out there all kind of ways, because being a lifeguard, them people be fighting you and all trying to save themselves.
Everybody ain't a deliverance minister. Everybody not a deliverance minister. So when them demons start fighting back at you, you got to have enough of Jesus in you, enough faith in you to know that you can cast that demon out without having to call upon help, so that God won't have to tell you, okay, ye of little faith. Yes. How long do I got to be with you? Definitely. How long? That's just like your training. Once you train to be a lifeguard, your training gonna say, okay, how long I got to be with you?
Yeah.
For you to save somebody. You should be able to save somebody on your own by now.
Because they tell you got a certain amount of time to be able to get in that water and pull them people back to safety. But I tell you this, even like studying and going over the lesson this week when we were studying the book of Joshua, learning how Moses and the children of Israel was going through that time frame, it takes a lot to be a lifeguard. And I'm gonna tell you something. I can't physically swim, but the spiritual me ain't afraid to swim.
Come on.
I'm not afraid to swim.
But look how you said that. You said you might not know how to swim in the flesh, but the spiritual you.
Yes.
The boldness of you and God know how to swim. The boldness of you gonna get out there and jump in that water to save your brother and sister.
Yes.
Because you know that he who wins souls is wise. So you ain't got time to think about yourself. You ain't got time to think about your circumstances. You ain't got time to think about family. You ain't got time to think about nothing when you are on assignment for God. Yes. All you got time to think about is that he told you to jump in there and save that soul. You need to jump in there and you need to save that soul. Come on, lifeguards. How many lifeguards on here do we have on duty? How many lifeguards on here do we have that are jump in the water and just save another soul? How many lifeguards we got on here with us?
Yes. Stop talking about you don't want, they too much. See, and like I said, closing out Mental Health Awareness Month. I kid you not. Listen here, our children. You said you wanted to discuss this. I couldn't tap in because I was a little tied up earlier today. Our children, these shootings in these schools, these shootings in these events, in these communities. I kid you not. Listen to me. I kid you not, sis. The thing about mental health, regardless of what, a lot of people is so caught up in the realm of racism when it comes down to trying to be politically correct about this situation.
Because it sure turned political, didn't it?
Oh, glory. So when I tell you our children are in defense, somebody has left them.
They're in defense mode. Mm-hmm.
And somebody left them behind.
Mm-hmm.
It does not matter if you are organized or what kind of organization you running. It does not matter. If you had any opportunity to tap into the life of from a baby to a 19, 25-year-old, I'm kidding you not. Listen, I've learned in so far that it's said that the actual development between a male and a female's mind does not actually develop fully until they're between 20 and 25 years old. So if you see these young ones out here carrying on and cutting up, they frustrated. And whatever is frustrated, it's in their spirit. And whoever the lifeguard wasn't guarding these children's lives. They wasn't guarding these children with their life. These children is out here running rampant, taking people's lives. It's a shame and a tragedy. And I pray for all the families that's been, interrupted and tortured and going through all this trauma because of this situation. It's sad and it's detrimental. Definitely. And it affects not just the communities that we live in, where it was done, where the situation happened. It affects us near and far, because these are children.
And guess what? He still got a soul. And this is what
Yes.
I was saying today. No, it's not excusable. It's never excusable. But there was no lifeguard on duty for this young man.
Yeah.
Now, understand me when I say this. I value everybody's opinion, and everybody's opinion I don't disregard. But when you talk spiritual, then you talk flesh. No, I don't care who you are. I don't care how mad somebody makes you. Normally, if you're normal and ain't nothing up, if wasn't nothing up there, if wasn't no experience up there, if you didn't go through nothing, if you never suffered from hurt or trauma, then you just a madman. And yeah, that's what you're doing. You going around shoot because you mad. But if you're gonna call it a spirit on the young man,
yes,
that spirits, understand this, mental health. Understand this. It's not of the kingdom. Sickness is a sickness.
Yes.
So when you say he got the spirit, when somebody say he had the spirit of murder, and I agree with him, because yeah, that's true. But if he got the spirit of murder on him, then don't that mean that he was possessed?
You see the mug shots of these people, it's like a blank slate.
Yeah.
When them people do them mug shots, them kids be looking like they ain't never seen a life or happiness to save their life.
Like they not here.
Yeah, like they not here.
And they need help. The Bible warned us that we suffer the little children to come unto him, forbid them not, for such is the kingdom.
Yes.
When we are the first gatekeepers, the first watchmen, and the first teachers. When our children spaz out on us, throw tantrums, those are spirits. Yes, they are. When our children fall into depression, when they fall into suicide attempts, because let me tell y'all something about mental health. It ain't only suicide.
No.
It ain't only cutting on yourself. It's you got schizophrenia.
You got people in the Bible throwing themselves in fires.
You got conditions. You got people you got serial killers love to see how people bleed from the inside out.
Sad.
Mental, that's mental.
Sad.
That's mental.
Sad.
And then they walking around, tell them allowed to go to the store at the age of 18 and buy guns. With that spirit sitting on the inside of them in the motive that I'm going to kill somebody.
Yes.
Now we can condemn our babies all day long, but this world has a lot to do with why our children are so out of control.
Speak.
We want to talk about the Bible, but we don't want to talk about the Bible. We want to quote the scripture, but we don't want to live by the scripture.
It's this song that Marvin Winans got, and I listen to this song ever so often because his spirit is so humble. Like he said he was talking to a friend one day, and his friend told him if he ever needed somebody, just call his phone and he'll be able to help him. So that time came. And when he called his friend was like, oh, my wife getting ready to leave town and such going on and this and that going on. And he was like, I just don't think this is the right time. When I look at the situation that happened this weekend, the situation that happened the weekend prior to that, and the situations that's been going on way there, Marvin Winans said, you don't need people when it's convenient for them. You need people when it's convenient for you. Because when that time comes, it comes at a spur of the moment. That black hole is real dark and it's real quick. And guess what it does? It lingers. It lingers. And if you're not strong enough to be able to get yourself together by yourself, Because sometimes you don't have nobody else. You got to really cry out in the spirit. You got to pull yourself from glory.
But look what okay, Lord. Look what here's what I just heard. I want y'all to type this in. You cannot please people and God at the same time.
All praises.
Somebody need to type that. Because somebody need to understand that in order to wear the crown of a lifeguard, because a lifeguard gets put to some serious standards. They are sort of like a paramedic, a first responder to the first responder.
Yes.
They are needed, especially on beaches and in pools. They are needed, just like your lifeline, your pastor or your spiritual warrior or the soldier sitting next to you. You need your lifeguard, because your lifeguard, just think about it, lifeguard. That means you need somebody to guard your life. If you have leaders, they're guarding your life. If you have a pastor, if you have a friend that loves you and that protects you, they're guarding your life. If you have a dog that loves you and protects you, he's guarding your life. That's why people and God in the same sentence with pleasing is impossible, because it's impossible to please people and God at the same time. If you do it, well, you're going to make one of them mad. You're going to forget to do something for one of them. One of them going to curse you out, and the other one, they're going to forgive you for the sin, but you disobeyed a direct order, a command. And this is what we have to understand. Lifeguards are not here for show and tell. They're here to save when you need to be saved. Remember in the beginning, I told him, I said, don't forget about the three things I said. Either a person wants to be saved, either they don't want to be saved, or either they don't, it's too much out there that they can't even call for help. So as a lifeguard, you have to make the decision between those three. Because if there's somebody out there that God has assigned you to that don't know how to call out to you, you got to be able to do, Rabbi say, you got to be able to discern their spirit to understand that they need you in their darkest hour. It ain't going to always come to you. A person ain't going to always pick up the phone. And if you're suffering with mental health, you ain't going to always pick up the phone and tell somebody that you want to kill yourself. You ain't going to tell nobody that you're going through. You ain't going to tell nobody that you feel a certain kind of way. You're just not going to tell nobody. So if you can't call for help, 9 times out of 10, sudden death, or you're going to die in it. And where was the lifeguard? The blood going to be on your hand because you should have known. And if they want you to come out there and help them, lifeguard, you got to wake up. You can't go to sleep. Let me tell you something about a lifeguard going to sleep while somebody out there drowning. Do you know the penalty that lifeguard is going to have to suffer because it was on your watch? Where my Jeremiah's at? It was on your watch. The person died on your watch because they went a little bit too far into what they didn't understand, what was unknown to them. And they started drowning because they couldn't swim out that far. They didn't know the word for that particular situation. They didn't know how to apply it for that particular situation. So they went a little bit too far and they couldn't come back. And while they were still able to wait for help, the lifeguard was sleeping. Come on, somebody.
The Father said it best.
Duty. That's who we are. We are lifeguards on duty. Now I gave you 2. I said the one that don't want that can't call for help, and the one that can call for help. Now the one that don't want your help, the one that God assigned you to and told you don't rush the process for that person, because you got to remember where you came from. You got to remember that I trained you too. You got to remember that I was there when you needed me. You got to remember that I had to come to your rescue and I had to train you. Now I trained you how to be a disciple. Now you got to go train my people how to be a disciple. And you can't train my people when you sleeping on your post.
That's right. That's right.
When you looking the other way. You can't train my people when you entertaining telephone conversations. You can't train my people.
That's right. That's right.
You cannot please God and people at the same time. It's impossible. Shah Rabbi say Hotaya. Good God.
Yes.
No lifeguard
he told Peter them, he said, could you not stay awake with me for a little while? Just for a little while. So, you know, at the end of the day, if there's any lifeguards out there, we know your job ain't easy. But you've been chosen, so you might as well take up your cross in bed. Because guess what? You got to do it anyway. Because whether you want to do it, let me tell you, we was talking about it the other day. I don't care how far Jonah ran. Jonah went all the way to the belly of the well. I told you, going out there in that ocean, there's something about that water. I ain't never seen a well other than Free Willy. But when I tell you, I don't want to be in the belly of one either. So when I tell you, get prepared for your journey. Because you're going to go on it, regardless if you want to or not. The Father's still going to deal with you. So if you running, you ain't going to run but so far. If you running, you can't run but so fast. Because the Father knows all and sees all, so he knows exactly where you at.
Yep.
Get prepared for your journey. And I ain't just talking to y'all, I'm talking to me too.
Come on.
Because none of us is going to leave this earth without positioning ourselves for the purpose. Because he said it in Jeremiah, for I know the plans that I have for you. That's my favorite scripture, because we walk this earth day in and day out. And we don't understand what our purpose is. And we always looking into man to find our purpose. So when I tell you man has no idea what their purpose is, go to the Father. I go to the rock of my salvation. I go to the rock. Because he's the foundation from the foundation of the world. He created man. How you going to go to somebody if that ain't create you? You can't even ask your parents. Because our parents even give us the wrong idea. We didn't grow, I guarantee you, we didn't grow up like our parents told us to. We didn't grow up like our parents told us to. And if our parents wanted us to be doctors, we probably was janitors. If our parents wanted us to be lawyers, shoot, we became secretaries. We didn't grow up like our parents told us to. And some of us, shoot, our parents wanted us to have the best life, and we ended up in the worst one. So you best believe we didn't grow up like our parents told us to.
We did.
We grew up. We grew over out that door, out their house. Be careful what you ask for, because the Father gonna give it to you. But if you ain't ready for it, you ain't gonna be able to enjoy it. And you're gonna be mad at him because you wasn't listening in the first place.
In the first place.
Get your lifeguard stuff together. Prepare yourself to save your people.
My mama say, I'm reminded that a lifeguard can't jump in suddenly. They have to wait until the body spirit surrenders, and only then can a lifeguard jump in and save a life. Move too soon and we both drown.
That's it, Mama.
We just said that, ain't it?
Yes, we did.
Ain't no sense
in there.
Ain't no sense of both of us struggling. Listen. I can't pull you in if you, y'all know how I'm reminded, and my mama on here, she finna bust out laughing. I'm reminded of a time where I saw some folks in church fighting demons.
Woo.
And after service is over, I don't know what happened, but the young lady went in the bathroom, and all I heard was boom, 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 all kinds of ruckus and everything in there. And everybody went to run into the bathroom, and when we went in there, we saw one of the pastors, her wig had been twisted backwards, and she said, "Ooh, Chad, I ain't got time for this." I fell out, and I don't need to laugh. jumped in too soon. Everybody was standing around this young lady trying to wait to grab her. She don't went in like she all He-Man and all that. There you go. She came back and checked to herself. Come on, baby, fix my wig. And I was like, well, what happened? Lord Jesus, wrestling with what I shouldn't been wrestling with. I said, what was wrestling with?
They'll fix you. They will fix you.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Bishop, I was told the same thing. I was told not to have nobody in her house, and I did. I was told all kinds of stuff. We ain't always been right.
No.
Look at my mom say she got whooped so bad. She walked off and laughed. We were like, what? Well, what happened in there? Wig all tied. That's when you jump in too soon.
Yeah.
Don't go wrestling. Let me tell you something. If you're not a lifeguard, don't go jumping into water. You can't swim in.
Don't do it.
My sister Kenyatta tell you best she can't swim. If you drowning, she'll do her best to scream for you, but she ain't coming in because that ain't her lane. If you do not have to cast out the demon, wait your turn and go back to the drawing board, sit down somewhere and allow God to minister to you and ask God where you need to be at. Because obviously it ain't in a deliverance ministry. You got to have some power to want to cast out. You got to have some power to go at them demons. And if you ain't got that power, and if you for 1 second think, wait a minute, what am I supposed to be doing? That demon gonna tear you up. You might want to sit down and think about it. I don't go into unknown territory. That's why they tell you to do your research before you go to all these exotic islands and all these places you ain't never been to. Go to Jamaica over there doing political time and wear a certain color. You might not come back. See, I'm just saying, you don't go out there where you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
God can't prepare you for a journey that you're not willing to prepare yourself for.
Say a word.
So if he said, get ready for your journey, you need to start preparing for that journey, because you're not going to walk the path the right way when you have no direction, you ain't heard no instruction, and you ain't listening to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I get happy when we preach stuff like this. I just get happy because I know that I'm a lifeguard. So as a lifeguard, I know that I'm going to get trained in various areas of this life that's going to cause me to have to go out into the deep to get somebody. Now, let me tell you something about lifeguard. Everybody will not be certified.
Say a word.
Let me tell you something. Everybody ain't certified to be a lifeguard. That's why they only give them to certain people in life. Because number one, you got to be physically fit. So you got to be physically fit to get to for the fight. You got to be physically fit to run into the fight. You got to be prepared and physically fit so that you can endure in the fight.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
You think you're gonna go to the military and just because you said you wanted to be there, they just gonna throw you out on the battlefield? No, that's much training and much preparation. And if you're not fit to be a soldier, they gonna send you home. Maybe dishonorable discharge, maybe honorable. But either way, you're gonna have to get off them campgrounds. Because they're not gonna allow you to put nobody else's life in danger. The minute you lose somebody as a lifeguard in the real world, you might get fired. There may be charges brought up against you. You may have to sit through litigation. But if you can't save them, if they're attached to you and God has given them to you as an assignment, and you have decided that they're too much for you when you was too much for God, you've decided that they too much for you and they frustrating you. So how did your assignment set you back?
Speak.
How did the assignment set you back? You don't allow the assignment to send you right back to where you was fighting to get from, because the person that you had assigned to got familiar spirits. That's why you got assigned to them, because you know what to do and you know how to help them. But you don't went in trying to act like you the boss. You ain't the boss. You're called, but you're not in charge. Your body not even your own. You was bought at a price. And when we say bought at a price, a lot of people don't even know that price. I don't think you understand how great it was for God to send his only begotten son to die on the cross for our sins.
Yeah.
I don't think you know how great that was.
Yeah.
This man had already forgave us for our sins before we were even formed in the womb. And you got the nerve to act like you're a lifeguard on duty, not wanting to do your duty.
Yeah. I was at my job one day. I was at my security job one day because I do security as well. And it was a song that came to my heart. And I gave that song to my son and I had to let him know. And the song says, your destiny has not been determined yet because your destiny is determined by the Lord. And I say that because we tend to think because we get a few scriptures in our little old heart that we can go out here and tackle the world. And then when we run off like them pigs did, when them spirits got cast into them pigs,
and fall over
we run out in shame. You cannot, the only way, I'm going to say this, the only way that you can beat somebody to salvation is if you go in there with empty hands. If you ain't never spoke a word into nobody's life, you ain't never did nothing in this life.
Oh, gosh.
You have to prepare yourself for your portion.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like I said, you can't beat nobody into salvation.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
If you're a lifeguard, you have to teach people how to live according to the Lord's word so that they can, they can love.
Concept, precept upon precept.
Yeah, it's a love offering. I know if my mama, some people like, some people, they say, mama say, I only whoop you because I love you. But why it hurt so bad? Mama, why it hurt so bad, mama? So, in a sense, when you get whooped in the spirit, you went in with the wrong attitude with the love offering.
Come on.
You offering somebody salvation. It's not going to be easy.
Mm-mm.
But the only way it's going to be easy for you if you go in with the right attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if Mr. would have had a better attitude, Cindy would have loved that.
I'm sick of you. You know what? You an elder tonight. She talking about she realized she didn't have a Pamela what'd she say? She said, yeah, when I realized I didn't have a Pamela Anderson, I would look like Pamela Anderson. I wasn't real life. I can't stand.
You and me both, elder. You and me both.
But no, seriously. We try. What? What? Seriously, lifeguards on duty is something that sat with me when I first heard it, because I truly believe that that's who we are. We are guarding the lives, especially as leaders, of those God has put upon us. A shepherd guards the lives of his sheep. Remember, if one wanders off, he gonna leave the 99. He gonna go find that one. That's a soul. Because a shepherd has love for his sheep. And I heard a saying before, if somebody said the way I love my animals is sort of like how David loved the sheep, right? And Wait a minute, was that David? Yeah. And I said, okay. That was before any of these calls from prophet to pastor. Because I used to be like, oh, okay. But my mama brought us up in the word. It's just when you grow up, because you've been in church so much from night to night, screaming, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And I'm not playing with it. But boy, look at here. I said that so much, man. Y'all, that they could have had me preaching back then.
It's a plea for your life. It's a plea for your life, man.
Because I wonder if we call Jesus, 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 Jesus when we drowning. You would think that you train us how to say that, and when we get into a situation, that's what we fall back on.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, it ain't. These folks in color purple, I can't. It's the Holloways show. Always the Holloways show. So, honestly, anybody can be a lifeguard. And I saw the comment, and I'm going to address the comment. Yes, you are correct, mother. Lifeguards are on the outside of the church. Because if you sitting in church and you drowning, I don't know. I'm not going to address that right now because there could be many reasons why.
Yeah.
But as a lifeguard, the Bible declares that we are to go out into the hedges and highways and compel them to come, right?
Yes.
So if we're supposed to be in the hedges and highways anyways, saving souls, drawing souls back into Christ, it's sad. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It's sad when we could see our own brother and sister drowning and won't even throw out a lifeline for them.
Yeah.
It's sad. But we say we love the Lord. We got to stop getting frustrated with everybody else's problems, especially when God didn't ordain it. I'll say that again. We have to stop getting frustrated, worried with somebody else's problem for their process when God has not ordained it. That's why you mad at everybody around here. You mad that you still going through this, and you still going through that. Well, God didn't ordain it for you to sit over that person's house all day, every day, gossiping with them, telling me something, you trying to draw them in. You just don't know how. No, you're feeding yourself. You're feeding yourself into some familiar spirits that you better get up from around. Because if they sin can frustrate you to set you back into your sin, then you was there for the wrong reasons in the first place. And I'm taking your certification. Because now you're losing souls. They drowning. You told me you know how to swim, Harpo.
I can't. I tell you one thing.
You told me you know how to swim, Harpo.
Everybody not your assignment.
And that's just the truth.
We mean well, and truly I understand, but I'm going to tell you something. You go out there in that water trying to save people who ain't ready, offering them stuff that they don't know nothing about. Them spirits gonna attack you. And before you know it, don't let it be your family.
I just can't with the Holloways. Did he say you got to be a reason to puff give?
You got to be well-rounded in this situation. You can't just go out there any kind of way, because I promise you, the chances of you coming back trying to save somebody else, you might lose yourself, and you don't want to do that.
And I'll say this. Yes, I didn't want to go there, but I'll go there because I feel like I can. If you're sitting in a church and you are drowning, then you really need to consult with God as to you need to self-evaluate yourself. 9 times out of 10, it may not be you. Your lifeguard may just went off, be on duty, off duty. You understand what I'm saying? Your lifeguard might be talking
on the job,
gossiping over here in a conversation while you out here trying to ask for help. Your lifeguard might be gossiping about you, saying they ain't got time and they frustrated that you keep coming to them and calling them every single night to ask them a question about the Bible. Ain't you reading the scripture? Didn't God give you a revelation? Don't you know who God is? You should have got one by now. You've been doing this for 2 months. You've been doing this for 6 months. Come on now, you should know the depiction of the Bible. You should know what Paul trying to say. Didn't Peter say that? Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to shut up, train me, and let me go do what I got to do. I'm drowning.
And then they see your tears. You go in that service every Sunday or Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Bible study. You going in these services and you going in there wholeheartedly. That's just like the lady who ain't had nothing but pennies. She ain't had nothing but pennies. And when she went up there to pay her offering, the father said she paid more than anybody else paid. You could tell that's why he deal with the heart, man. Because you can look somebody in their face, but you can't look them in their face and tell if they for you or against you, because of the frustration of your life on them, the frustration of your very existence on them is in their heart. They sitting there, look at her. Look at her. Her and her children done came in here and disrupted the whole story. That little one, he's so loud. Look, I always want to sing.
Sit down somewhere. Ain't your mama taught you better? Where you come from? Holier than thou? Where did God find you? What kind of mess was you in? Who had to come and pull you out? Where was the person that was guarding your life? Didn't you have a lifeguard to come and tell you maybe you need to change? Didn't you have a lifeguard come and tell you, baby, you went too deep out there? Come on back in and let us train you to how to do it the right way. You ain't never had that? Yes, you did. Because everybody came into the knowing of God, knowing God. Ain't nobody coming to the knowing of doing right. As you said it the other day, all sin has a purpose within. That means we had to learn what sin was by watching what sin was. Somebody taught us how to sin. If you go all the way back to Adam and Eve, somebody taught us how to sin. So you watched her sin. That's why you sinned, because you felt like if Eve didn't nothing happen to Eve because Adam was the one who shouldn't have let it happen, then you're wrong, because you don't caught on to your mama of all mamas sin, her seed, and now you're doing the same thing that she was doing. So don't tell me that you always been righteous all your life. Self-righteous, always know it all, holier than thou, so far up into heaven that you ain't no earthly good person. And I said that with a lot of modesty. I did.
Salvation is free, y'all.
Free.
And even if it only takes you one time to figure it out. You can go out there as a lifeguard and you can save somebody's life without you even knowing. But at the end of that moment, that's when you'll find out your position in your faith. You are lifeguards of faith. Prepare yourself for the journey. We can't run and we can't hide, because the Father will take you to the ends of the earth and just to bring you right back to the place where you started.
And let me piggyback off of that, lifeguard. If you have been deemed the right person for the position, in other words, if God has promoted you and he has given you a call on your life to draw others in, which all of us should be doing in the first place, but people don't been told so many times what they not and what call they don't see on their life, that they walk out the church, want to help people, and they result back to the streets and they doing the good Samaritan work, but ain't doing it how the Bible said do it. And you got to be born again. You got to be born again, because it's necessary for you to enter in, because you got to have clean hands, and you got to have a pure heart, and you got to have clean hands. So while you have decided that you don't want to show them because you feel like they prophesying and prophesying and they only telling what God told them to tell you, then something's wrong with you. Lifeguards, you don't get to pick and choose who you gonna save.
That's right.
You don't get to pick and choose who you're going to save. You are not God. You don't get to say Marie wrong and Anna right. I'm going to save Anna. You don't get to do that. You don't get to judge me according to my sins. All because you ain't in them no more. Remember, you're sinning when you're judging me. So you're still in sin. If you ain't gonna pray for me, stay away from me. If you ain't gonna pray for me, stay away from me.
That's it. Stop praying.
Keep your distance.
That's right.
Because people out here need help. They need saving. There's children going out here into the deep and don't know how to come back from that because they never knew how to float and just abide in the word. They never learned how to just lay back and relax and float and abide in the word. So when they go out there, they go full force, searching and trying to get what they trying to get, and they going too hard. And now all of a sudden, they don't find what they needed, but they ain't got no more strength to get to it because they feel like God is pulling them out of this place and where they need to be. And you, the lifeguard, see them struggling with the word, and you wanted to get down off your post and go get them. Now they don't got here, and they don't went down 2 times.
They can do it. They got it.
You get what I'm saying? They coming, and then at the last minute, you don't got off the phone or came out the gossipy conversation and said, "Oh, she drowning. I gotta go get her." Then it be too late.
It's too late. We can sit back and talk about how sad these situations are, but I'm gonna tell you no lie. If we don't take this situation into a better, if we don't take this situation and really put into consideration the circumstances that can be avoided, because it's all about love. It all redirects itself right back to love, the compassion. They said the passion of Christ. We talk about the passion of Christ. He said above all the 10 commandments, love is the greatest. It's the greatest one of them all. And until we can reach that full peak of what it is that the Father was really trying to incorporate into our destiny, we're going to sit back and watch. That's why people be so busy with their phones and catching all of this. This is sad. You will hold the very utensil you're supposed to use to save somebody's life. You will use to record their death. How dare you? With your inhumane self. You got to be inhumane. My eyes can't even see. I don't want to see nobody laying in the middle of the road bleeding to death, and I got it on my phone. You dead yet? You still dying? You got your camera? Cause my phone going dead. You want to catch every waking moment of somebody's death? That's got to be the most inhumane, incoherent situation. Once you put this stuff on social media, this is what I heard this before, where they were saying when we hurt the Father and we go against his word, we crucify his son over and over and over and over and over and over again. He said, my word will not come back to me void. Everything that is in my word is true. If it had not been true, I would not have even told you. So when I tell you, these people with these phones, you could dial 911, but you would rather take that phone and use it for something that's going to cause a tragedy and torment to the family members that's got to go on social media for whatever their platform is in this life, for using their platform on social media and relive the death of their child or their family member, their loved one, over and over again, because it's plastered all over social media.
And I'm not gonna clean up what she said, but I'm gonna add this to it. She not saying that a person shouldn't record something, because 9 times 10, if it's not recorded, you don't know what happened. What she's saying is that when we exploit someone's death, because you can exploit someone's death because you want yourself to get all these likes and stuff like that, so that you can go worldwide and have a whole big platform just putting people's stuff up there. You just never know what you're doing to somebody's family, or you're doing to somebody when you do that. Is basically what I gather from what she's saying. And she ain't said you inhumane because you're recording. You inhumane when you exploit and you do with the video afterwards. Because if ain't nobody around, y'all better tape it if they beating the heck out of me. But if you're gonna exploit me, and you and the person that took the film, you better be the person that's coming to my aid.
Dial 911 first, and then do all the recording, because it's kind of like CPR.
You got to check for the pulse.
That's it.
Check for the rate. Then you got to check to make sure this still got blood in it. That chest ain't coming up and down, then you need to start CPR.
Being a lifeguard in the faith.
Hey, listen, I ain't never tried to be a lifeguard, because I know your child keep jumping in the 8th feet, and I'm already tired, and I don't save him about 15 times, he probably gonna drown, because I ain't gonna have no more strength to get him. Now I tell your child to stop jumping in 15 feet if you can't swim. No, I'm just joking. But anywho, we need lifeguards. We need lifeguards. Y'all know we always bring sense of humor to this. Don't act like that, y'all. We need lifeguards to make sure our lives are on track. We have protection. And the guard that I want over my life, that's been guarding me all my life, is God. I trust him more than I trust these earthly people. Because these earthly people gonna let me down. Somebody will go to sleep at night and forget to turn their alarm on and say that they overslept while I was drowning. And I done called you about 15 times, and you got the cell phone off because you're sick and tired of the boy calling your phone trying to get the booty call. Did I just? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Don't scratch that. I said it. Anywho, y'all know what we mean. We finna get off here, y'all. We finna go. But do believe that Proverbs 11:30 says that the fruit of the righteous is the tree of life. That means your fruit that you bear, that should be good fruit anyways, that should be positive fruit, that should be fruit that want to do what God say do, that should be fruit that love others. Y'all know all them fruits of the spirit. Your fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise. So be wise in your counsel. Be wise in what you do daily for somebody. Be wise. Use wisdom. Consult with God so that you don't go in and lose like Joshua. Don't get the big head. God gave you one assignment and you scored big on it. Hoorah! So now you think you're big enough to take on the next assignment. But you ain't looking at what's in your camp. You ain't seeing all the other people swimming in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't seeing everybody else. So you decide that we got this. And we ain't even got to send that many people in there. Let's just send about 2,000, 3,000 troops in there. They got this. Because, they ain't too big. We got them. But then your big head, you come out losing. I ain't trying to say Joshua was big head and thought that. The story don't say that. But it's just one way I'm looking at it. Because we can think that because we are called. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Y'all know how when Bishop called prayer, and you got all those other folks that say they got calls but ain't never used them, and as soon as somebody get to the altar, everybody supposed to be up there, and you got all these other people coming up there, standing around and talking about something they touching and agreeing. Go sit down. Go sit down. God ain't told you, ain't everybody could be on the altar. Go sit down. because you ain't everybody could be on there. Okay, if you don't know how to, if some of you standing up there not even praying, you're standing up there spectating anyways. Go sit down somewhere and let who God called, who's actually doing the work, do the work. We trying to win souls. We ain't trying to lose them. Don't go up there putting your hands on nobody on the altar when you know you still in sin, rubbing all your foolishness off on them. Now they don't went home and don't know why they popping their tootsie all the time. They don't know why they drink now. They don't know why they got a craving for cigarettes. They don't know none of this. But you touched them and you rubbed off on them instead of praying for them and instead of praying for yourself. I don't know why I went there, but I just feel like it's got something to do with you guarding somebody's life. If you don't know what you're doing, please be concerned about my life and leave my life alone.
That's
Don't
right.
come out here because you're my best friend and kill me because you didn't know what you was doing. And then in the end, you talking about something. Well, that's my best friend. I was trying to help her. You didn't know what you was doing. Thank you. Use some wisdom. If you know you can't swim, don't come try to save me. Why both of us got to drown? I'm going to be mad. In the afterlife, I'm whooping you behind. I had to throw that in. I'm whooping you behind in the afterlife. You don't came out here and we both drowned. Now we both got to deal with consequences. Because when you could have saved me when I went too far and told me what to do, which was right, and showed me how to do it right, you don't came out there and you didn't even get a chance to teach me nothing because neither one of us made it back.
What you say?
Somebody got to live to tell the story, Ashley. Somebody got to live to tell the story. And if I'm not going to be able to live to tell the story, I'm whooping you behind in the afterlife.
Mim say, don't touch me. All that touching and agreeing, you might be touching and agreeing on the wrong thing. That's right. Don't touch me.
Don't came up here and put all your stuff on me. You ain't saving my life. You ruining my life.
That's right, Elder.
Now don't nobody know why you acting. Didn't you just go to church? Didn't you just get saved? Well, why you acting like that? And you standing over there, I don't know. Well, how I'm acting? Well, what I did? Well, since when you smoke cigarettes, baby? I don't see people have those experiences because something was transferred. So y'all be careful with how y'all guarding people's lives.
That's right.
If y'all don't have certification and going out there, and I said everybody can be a lifeguard. God has called all of us to be fishers of men. All of us. He didn't call men to be fishers of men. He didn't call just women to be fishers of men, but he called all of us to be fishers of men. We ain't got no right to deny somebody Christ if we know if we know what to say to them to help them. That's right. Why you got to use wisdom when you're talking to people. Because when you don't know, all you got is wisdom. I don't know how to help you, Anna, but I'm sure Elder or either Bishop can help you. Let me refer you to them. Bishop, would you mind if I give Anna your telephone number? Elder, would you mind if I tell her to send you a friend request? She needs help in this situation, and I can't help her. One or two things my bishop them gonna do. Let me show you how to help her. Or I got you, but I want you to be there so you can see. That's training. Train me up how to do it so that I don't go out there messing up everybody's life because I'm foolish in all my ways and I'm running out there trying to be big when I'm really not. Don't think because you're a prophet, you get to prophesy to everybody.
That's right.
Don't think because you're a pastor, you get to lay your hands on everybody. Okay, keep laying your hands on people. Get up there in the altar and you start preaching and you end up cursing, and you had not been stopped cursing. That's because you don't touch something that wasn't clean. So mind ourselves. This is what we do. We keep it real and we keep it transparent because we don't have no other way of doing that. Hey, Brother Mo, Evangelist Powell, thank y'all for joining us. Hey, sis. we told a story. Mom was on when we told a story of the wings turned backwards. See, she told us that the wings turned back because demons go. We were telling them. I told them a story how the wing was turned all the way around because they went in when they shouldn't have.
You dived in too early.
You came off that lifeguard certification, and your boss told you that you still should be shadowing, and you ain't see your boss, and you ain't even tried to call your boss, so you don't win and ran in. Somebody better start consulting with God before you start to run into situations, before you get trapped, before you get messed up, before you get killed. Y'all better start consulting.
For real.
Because when you think that you got it, when you think that you've done it, when you think that you've overcome it, God will show you that, hear me, something's wrong back there. Something's wrong back there. You didn't check. You should have been on point, lifeguard. I know that you saw what happened down there, but you were so busy watching the person down there getting saved, you didn't see the baby over here drowning. I'm just saying. Wig already bad. Now it's bad and backwards. I'm going to need y'all to get off. Just get off. I got you. Go ahead. We love you. So listen. Tonight, we just wanted to come and talk to y'all. We wanted to let y'all know that there is nothing wrong with asking for help in your position. I'll say that again. Y'all can write that. There's nothing wrong with asking for help in your position. When God calls you, you don't come out the gate swinging and fighting. You don't come out the gate right away, because you got to be trained on those gifts and that call. You got to be trained on how to handle it, on what to do with it. Because if you go out there and you don't even know how to handle the call that God gave you, it'll mess you up. You'll be messing up stuff and it'll mess you up. All because you were so anxious to get there to serve the Lord. He know you're anxious. But he already told you to be anxious for nothing, in all things, through prayer and supplication. So if you can't be anxious to go out there and preach the gospel, lay hands on people, minister to people, then don't be so quick to run out there and jump and think you could save somebody. You might get blessed and lucky the first time around. But what about the second time around? When you still don't know nothing and somebody trying to tell you something, and then all of a sudden you got to go back to the person that's trying to train you, and you got to bite your words and you got to apologize. See, God sends us those who he knows are going to train us, are going to minister to us, are going to take us under their wings, are going to push us out, launch us out. God do not play with God and his people, because you're playing with your life. You're playing with your life. So take it easy. And I like that. The lifeguards always do a swim test to those who they say can swim. They make you swim in the 8 feet. That's right. But what a lifeguard also does when he's teaching you, he starts from the beginning. Kick your feet. I don't want you to do nothing today but kick your feet. What is that lifeguard teaching you how to do? That lifeguard is teaching you how to stay afloat. If you kick your feet, you'll keep moving. You stop kicking your feet, you sink. You got to sway yourself on that water so you float. But this has to be taught. Or like me, me and my sister got thrown in the water and we just told her to swim out. Luckily, we knew how to kick, swim, and get to the wall as fast as we could. And then we started throwing ourselves in to see if we could do it all over again. You got them type of people too. But best believe that it was always a lifeguard there to show us the way, to get us before we drowned. So be very careful. Be very careful with the water. If you don't know how to swim, don't jump in. You can't save nobody. If you don't know how to teach nobody how to swim, go get some lessons on teaching so that you could teach somebody how to swim. Because you'll end up throwing somebody in that water thinking that they're supposed to learn how to swim like that, and you'll be wrong. Any questions? This has been our Friday Straight Transparency. I thank y'all for joining me as y'all always do. Listen, on June 6th, that's a Monday, June 6th, I'm going to be starting my very first interactive Bible study on Facebook. It's not going to be Facebook Live. It's going to be inside my page, Resilient Warriors for Christ Ministries. I hope y'all can join us. If anybody wants to join us, go on that page, like that page, look inside that box. It'll show you what book we're going to be using. And everybody got this book. We're going to be using this book, if y'all can see it. So this is what we're studying. Let me tell y'all something about our Bible studies. They be off the chain. Because again, we give word, breakdown of the Bible, every scripture, but we discuss it. We discuss it because sometimes it's difficult to understand the language of the Bible. So you need to be able to bring those parables that Jesus was talking about in the New Testament out and tell people exactly what he meant. You need to be able to have some analogies and some metaphors and all that type of stuff. Bible dictionary, concordance. You need to have all that when you study in the Bible so that you'll understand what it's saying. And then once you start studying the Bible, God will start to give you a revelation and you'll just start to write in, like how this is a brand new Bible and it's highlighted and written all in already, but that's okay because I take notes a lot when God talking. So if y'all could join us, it starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be 5:30 my time. But it starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to be a part of that, just inbox me and let me know. If you can't get your book, let me know so that I can go ahead and send a book out before the 6th to you. And I'll do that. But again, continue to stay positive. Continue to lean on God. Continue to ask those hard questions that people don't think should be asked. Y'all continue to want more from God and want to learn more. Y'all continue. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Somebody say, push past the pressure. Or push in the pressure. Because I know it's a lot of pressure to push. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I see y'all next Friday for another Friday Straight Transparency. Well, I keep it real. I keep it transparent and I keep it raw. But I love y'all. Peace.